So hey guys, it's me Jack here, and welcome back to another episode of World of Tanks. This time we're going to be doing a review of the T69, the Tier 8 American medium tank. This is one of two American medium tanks, the other one being the Pershing. This one is going down the Autoloader line. So let's start off the review of the tank. The T69 has 1,350 hit points, which is pretty average for a Tier 8 medium. Let's look at the Centurion. That has 1,450. However, the Centurion has no armor, and this, you can pull off some bounces in this, but I will get to that later. It weighs 35 tons, comparing that to the Centurion. The Centurion weighs 45 tons, and this has a 550 horsepower engine, giving it a power to weight ratio of 15.66. Which is, it's alright, it gets you there. Meanwhile, with the Centurion, it has 16.53. So yeah, the Centurion does get about a bit more. This will feel slightly sluggish. The speed limit is 51.5, which is a lot faster than the Centurion. And the traverse speed is also a lot faster than the Centurion, at 42 degrees per second. Now, this is where it starts going a bit downhill. The hull armor is 101 degrees at the front, 76 degrees at the side, and 36 degrees at the rear. And there's no way of putting this, it's just bad. Even at this slope of at least 45 degrees, it's just not good at all. It'll get penetrated by pretty much everything. The turret armor is a bit better with 152 degrees at the front, 76 at the side, and 114 at the rear, which is unusual. You don't generally find tanks with higher turret armor at the rear than you do at the side. However, about the 152 at the front, I believe it only covers this part of the turret and not this part, because you seem to get penetrated here very easily, and that can jam your turret ring, and you're kind of stuck in that situation. The standard shell damage is between 180 and 300, and the standard shell penetration is between 130 and 216. Remembering that the fact that this is an autoloader tank, which means that you have 4 shots in your clip, and then you have a 25-second reload, which is nice. It's different to the French tanks, if you will see what I mean. Go to the French tanks, say the AMX 50-100. The average shell damage is exactly the same, but the gun, the 100mm, actually no, the 100mm gun is actually better, and this fires 6 shots, I believe, whereas this tank only fires 4. So you'd be thinking, well, what's the benefits of this? The French tank has to reload for so much longer that I find it's spending most of the battle waiting for its reload. Whereas with this thing, you can play it much more dynamically in terms of a medium, which allows me to have a lot more fun in it. I tried the French tanks on the test server. I didn't really enjoy them. I felt the reload was much too long, and with this you can pull off some troll bounces on your turret. The rate of fire is 7.27 rounds a minute, which is nice. Turret traverse speed, 38 degrees per second, which is very good. You'll be able to basically track any scouts. View range, 400 meters, you'll expect that by now, and the signal range on the top radio is 750 meters. Let's talk some modules quickly. When you start out with this tank, you will have the T185, which is the gun from the T71, and you will suck with this gun, I'm sorry, but 175 penetration and 150 damage, it's 150 damage is getting kind of around Tier 8. So even though it is a 6-shot autoloader, you're getting what I'm meaning, okay? Hopefully. You won't have to unlock a turret for it, already done for you. Radio, you'll have to unlock, and the engine and the tracks, and then once you're good to go, you can work your way towards the T54E1, which looks set to be a very promising tank if we look at the top gun on that. You have a gun that's doing 390 average damage with 210 penetration, and it's also got a 4-shot magazine, so it's basically, it seems to be just like a beefed up version of this, which is very nice. Okay, on to the rest of the tank. I've fitted this tank with a wet ammo rack. This tank gets ammo racked a lot. You will find that in one every 4 or 5 games you will have a damaged ammo rack. I've put an enhanced gun laying drive on it. Can this thing fit a vertical stabilizer? Yeah, you can put a vertical stabilizer on this tank. That might even be better. In fact, seeing that now, I might replace that for vents, but you never know. I kind of like it with the enhanced gun laying drive, but vert stab might be very useful on this tank. And that's all really you need for the tank. In terms of crew skills, we've got the commander who is training 6th sense to 90%. We've got the gunner who's got Deadeye, the driver who has clutch braking, and the loader who has safe stowage up to 90%, which is nice. I've decided to put safe stowage on this tank because, as I said, you get ammo racked a lot. In terms of how to play this tank, you have to be a bit more cautious than if you were playing the Pershing, because if we look at the Pershing, although it doesn't have any armor, you can afford, because of the fact that you don't have to wait 25 seconds between every clip on the Pershing, you can afford to choose when you can zoom out and attack someone. It allows the attacking abilities of the tank to change. This one, you want to see a tank at around 1,200 health. And this brings me on to one of the key factors of this tank. Unlike French tanks, this tank cannot clip most tanks. If you don't know what a clip means, is you can't pop out with a full clip and completely destroy the tank, even though you may take a shot. You will do around 1,200 damage to him. However, you probably won't kill him, which means that you need to either have some buddies with you or attack him when he's on below 1,200 health. So I think that's basically it for this tank. I have blathered on quite a bit in the garage. Before we go to a replay, I'm also going to point out one more key factor of this tank, which is that the oscillating turret is very interesting, actually. It has a large amount of gun depression and elevation, which is unusual for oscillating turrets. If you've ever played the French tanks, such as the AMX 5100, the AMX 5120, you will see that they also have an oscillating turret. However, the tank cannot lower and raise its gun very far. It doesn't have very good arcs of elevation and depression, unfortunately, but this tank does. You can really, true to the American style, you can really pop over corners in this tank and shoot down on your enemies. So without further ado, we will now pop on to a replay that I had in a Tier 9 game. So I'll see you guys in 1 second. So here we are on the replay that I've got for you guys. You can see that it is a Tier 9 game, and we are driving on the map Airfield. You can see in this replay a very good example of how the T69 plays in high-tier games. I have fitted this tank with 8 premium shells, which is the equivalent of 2 clips, and in my opinion, premium shells in this tank are overpowered. They have 300 millimeters of penetration, which from the 173 is a huge increase. And I think that really it's not necessary to increase it to 300. You can bash away at tier 10 heavy tank fronts with 300 millimeters of penetration. So to start with, looking at all the big guns that are on the enemy team, I decided to take up a position up here on the northwestern part of the map. I'm just pushing through here. And you can see that there's a very, very brave Hellcat on our team. It goes out and meets a 59-16, starts taking some hits. And I think he dies very quickly. it doesn't look set to live long. And there's also an M46 pattern that's been spotted and an IS-6. I'm just keeping an eye on this lane basically for my team. There's also a Panther 2 behind me here. He's just coming into position. And I'm just waiting here. So this game could be quite dull to start with, but trust me, it is worth watching. So I'll just speed it up a little bit, just whilst this happens. Oh, there we go. Back into the action here. So there's an IS-6, and there's also a VK-2801. And looking at the minimap, it looks like he's set about to burst around the corner. So I've got my gun, and I'm waiting on the corner here for him to pop round. And I'm just waiting, because I know he's going to do it. I know he's going to do it, and I have a shot on him. So I'm just waiting for the perfect opportunity to pop off a shot in his face. Here he goes. It looks like he's going for it. Is this running half time? Yes, it is. It's running half speed. Never mind, excuse me. But if you look at the clip here, you can see that I could take that tank out extremely quickly. And I also have a mod installed that allows me to tell my team how long the clip will take to reload. It'll take 25.2 seconds. At that point, I was attempting to hide from artillery, knowing that I would have been spotted. We see a Panther 2 down there, and he's dueling our Panther 2. Although it doesn't seem to be able to hit each other at the moment. So I'm going to pull forward now. I feel that it's time to push the tempo of the game a bit. I do feel that it was a bit of a waste of a premium shell firing at that VK-2801. I was hoping that it was going to be some of the bigger enemies on the team, such as the ST1 and the IS-3. And now we're pulling forward here. I'm trying to get some spots on these guys. And you can see that the gun depression on this tank is very good. It's not bad at all. However, the two enemy tanks seem to have lost their attention on me. So, the IS-6 just pulls away. So I'm going to pull forward again now towards the Panther 2. And then there's a T69 and the Centurion 1 there. So I'm thinking I don't want to go there on my own if they're all staring at me. However, they're not looking at me. So I can just pull out and just pop 3 shots into the side of that Panther 2. And I'm fine. However, I'm now down to standard ammunition. And the Centurion 7/1 is up there. And I should be able to penetrate him, luckily. However, the IS-6 might pose some problems, and so will the T69 or the Super Pershing. And speaking of the Super Pershing, I was wondering, is the Super Pershing worth buying? You guys should post in the comments whether I should buy it, because they're bringing it back next patch, and it looks set to be quite a good tank still. So there you go, clipping another tank there in 3 shots. But you can see the awesome power of this tank. You're just able to do so much damage so quickly. At this point, I thought the ISU-152 was coming around to get me, but it turns out he wasn't, so I'm just going to turn back around, and I'm getting ready to pop around this corner to pop some shells into his face. So I'm just being cautious here. I don't want to pop around too much. I don't want to take a hit from an ISU-152 in this tank. Just being careful, a little bit more cautious. He bounces off the turret. You can see the troll capabilities sometimes if you hit a bad angle on this turret. And unfortunately, I bounce off the ISU, leaving him on 30 health. Luckily, I set him on fire, which destroys him, which is very nice. So now we've got 4 kills, 2,600 damage. That E75 looked like he's taken a bit of a beating. However, it's still 10-8 to us, which means that both teams could still win this match. So I'm being very cautious. So I'm pulling forward here. I do not want to come too far forward and get caught out by the ST1, even though I know he's in the base. He could fire flanking shots back. The E79 tells me to go and kill the artillery. As you can see, it's now 11 all, and I'm saying affirmative, let's go kill the artillery. So with me and this Type 59 zoom down here, and go and artillery hunting, which is very nice to do. I always take pleasure in popping out and surprising some scumbags. You can see there where the ISU-152 bounced off me. I know now that he did not have the top gun, the BL-10, which is a pretty insane gun for a tier 8 tank to have. However, I do not believe it's overpowered. Many people are like, oh, the ISU is overpowered, Russian bias. I'm like, no, it's not. It doesn't have any armor, terrible mobility. The only thing it has going for it is a very good gun. However, I'm going to be focusing on some other tanks in different reviews. For now, it's the T69. So you can see the Type 59 there has spotted the GW Tiger, and he's taking shots at him. Well, I know that the Jag Tiger 88 was last spotted around here at the H8 line, and we see there the Type 59 takes out the GW Tiger. However, the Type 59 was killed by the Jag Tiger 88. So I take out the SU-14 and kill him. So I'm on 5 kills, and it's now a very close game. We have a very very skilled ST1 in a platoon, who was in a platoon even, Jag Tiger 88, me on full health, and an E75 who's taken a beating. So at this point, the base is being capped, and I'm wondering whether I need to go back. I'm still reloading my clip. I don't fancy my chances penning an an ST1 from the front. Luckily, my E75 friend manages to reset the cap, which is great. I'm just keeping an eye out for that Jag Tiger 88, all the possible routes he may enter from. So I'm just keeping an eye out on him, and I'm not quite sure where he's going to come from. He was last spotted down there, but he killed the Type 59 from a different angle. So I'm going to change positions here and keep my eyes on the back. What you're going to see here is the fact that the E75 killed the ST1, so we should win this game by all rights. I'm also getting large amounts of cap points, which is very nice. I'm waiting for the Jag Tiger 88. Maybe he has a damaged engine, or this thing is very slow actually. Yeah, in fact he doesn't have a damaged engine. At this point, I'm slightly worried, but the Jag Tiger 88 does some very bad play and rolls straight towards me. In fact, that's probably I say it's bad play, but in his situation, I would have probably done the same thing. There's not much he could have done to avoid being capped here. He shoots and misses, so I'm going to take his track and then zoom around him to a better position. Because I'm aiming for engine fires here, hoping for engine fires. Where's the engine fire? There is no engine fire. Unfortunately, I have a longer reload than the time left in the cap, and so that means we're going to win this game by capping. However, it's still a worthy victory, although I would have loved to just kill this Jag Tiger 88. But this is where you see one of the downsides of this tank. If you had, say, the Pershing at this point, you may have been able to kill this tank. And there we go, that's the end of the replay, so I'll go get some end plates for you guys. So looking at the first end plate, guys, you can see that I got 3,788 credit experience. That is doubled. And I also earned 49,086 credit. I've got a first class mastery badge, Invader, and Sniper. Invader because I captured 100% of the enemy's base, which is nice. You can see that I did 693 damage to the ISU-152, 410 to the SU-14, 674 to the Centurion Mark I, 699 to the Panther II, 610 to the VK-2801, and 695 to the Jag Tiger, which puts me top of the tier with 3,751 damage done and 5 kills. I would have liked to kill the Jag Tiger to get me a top gun as well. That may have earned me the mastery badge, but unfortunately it didn't. Let's look at the detailed report here. Shots fired 20, direct hits 19, penetrations 18. The one shot that missed was against the SU-14-1, if I remember. One of the bounces was against the ISU-152, which was a very troll bounce. Potential damage received 750. So if that ISU-152 had hit me, I would have taken 750 health off me, which is not very good. I damaged 6 enemies, destroyed 5, and I only spotted. I did 86 spotting damage, which is not very good. You can see that although I fired 6 premium shells, I still made a gain of 21,000 credits, which is very nice. If this hadn't been doubled, I would have earned 1,894 experience, and that's a very nice amount of experience to earn in a standard battle. So there we have it, guys, the T69, the Tier 8 American medium tank. Keep your eyes out